Until recently, there was something of an orthodoxy among independent explorers. Anaconda and Asp, good. Everything else, bad. However, something unusual has been happening amongst the Pilots Federation exploration community of late. Last month, this correspondent witnessed an interesting conversation at the Millerson, a notorious spacebar in the Alarai sector. A seasoned pilot pointed out to the other two at his table that in deep space exploration, range was everything. Range, he said, lets an explorer be there first, tag the stuff, and move on. The second fellow at the table countered that flexibility is paramount. An explorer needs to be able to handle any and all challenges on their own, because civilization is thousands of light years away. Both nodded in agreement. Finally, the third pilot smiled and pointed out that whatever you do, you should do it in style. In this day and age, he quipped, civilization does not have to be left far behind when going on a survey cruise. He opened his hand and a hologram sprang out, a spinning Saud Kruger beluga liner in red and gold. The other two looked puzzled, first at the man, and then at the ship. This conversation, and the apparent clash of pilot cultures, summarizes what a portion of the exploration community has debated over the last few months, if not years. Because of a number of industry and management decisions, Saud Kruger ships are becoming more and more attractive for survey trips into the black. The days in which dolphins only showed up for such hilarious events as the silly ship's expedition of 3303 seem to be over. There is a real fight going on between those pilots wanting to sit in a real cockpit and those wanting to sit at a bar, while still in the exploration business. While the Dolphin only made up 0.7% of the distant world's 2 fleet, 95 ships, the fleet also contained 154 orcas, 1.14% of the total, and a stunning 275 beluga liners, 2.03%. Some explorers express disbelief at this new trend, but others point out, why can't explorers have nice things in a serious, lonely, and often dangerous business? The source of this division is deeply rooted in psychology and a great deal of nostalgia. Until recently, explorers, and by extension the ships they used, leaned into the philosophy that being out there meant being cut off from supplies, a shower, and the general amenities of civilization. Traditionally, explorers are a no-frills people, able to survive indefinitely on 3D cartridge meals made of soy reel instead of grain-based cereal, and dried kelp. They recycle their ship's coolants into alcohol and vice versa. Their ships are ugly, angular beasts held together by spittle, duct tape, and the sheer willpower of their owners. Now, compare this to a Saud Kruger Dolphin. Originally advertised as a small passenger vessel, it has quickly and undeniably gained a reputation as a reliable ship for ferrying tourists to their famous resorts and vistas, as well as a flashy personal yacht for the style-conscious commander. The ship is sleek and elegant, and, with a price tag of under 2 million credits, it's relatively inexpensive to fly. Saud Kruger has poured billions of credits into marketing campaigns that portray their line of ships as the ultimate means to go on tourism cruises with style. It's a job well done, and that is where the cruise attitude comes from. Saud Kruger introduced leisure and style to exploration, and the company hit a nerve in the minds of the camera limpet aficionados, eager for footage of their silvery mirrored hulls drifting elegantly in a gas giant's icy rings. Commander Two Spoons 77 comments,
"There comes an age to us all, this commander included, when the thought of being strapped into a rickety diamondback explorer, an asp explorer, or an anaconda sounds like hell. Who wants to fly ships stripped so light that their only life support comes from a blanket and an old woodburner stuffed with galactic travel guides.
The Dolphin is the smallest of Saud Kruger's lineup. It boasts basic entertainment facilities that hardcore explorers would most likely label as superfluous luxuries. The Dolphin's main strength, however, is its astonishing modular capability for a ship of its size and purpose. It surpasses that of the famous Cobra Mark III or even the Diamondback Explorer. In contrast to a Diamondback Explorer, one of the most successful exploration ships, a Dolphin boasts a Class 5 internal module slot. Taking into consideration its Class 4 frame shift drive, or FSD, this means that pilots can fly on what they call FSD+1, a fuel scoop one size class bigger than the FSD, which means faster fuel scooping and thus fewer heat issues. At this point, it must be said that Saud Kruger ships in general have a higher heat signature than their dedicated exploration counterparts. Some may call this a disadvantage, some a mere nuisance, and some may not care at all. But heat signature comparisons are an important factor when judging the reliance of a spaceship as an explorer. The Dolphin passes the baseline test, but heat dissipation will never be a feature in which the Saud Kruger ships excel. Commander Kai Kalimatinus explains.
While all three have thermal capacity statistics similar to their contemporary exploration options, excluding the famously cold-running Diamondback series, all three run larger core internals from thrusters to FSD to life support. This leads to a higher idle heat than one might look for in an explorer, and even engineered, close shaves with stellar bodies will still risk overheating the vessel.
The Dolphin has gained an additional significant boost from the Pilots Federation Module Management firmware patch in April 3305, which redistributed modular access protocols. This freed valuable internal capacity for bigger modules and resulted in 2 additional Class 1 module slots for the Dolphin, which is a useful addition. For explorers, this meant they could move items like the detailed surface scanner or the research limpet controller accordingly, thus vacating 2 Class 2 module slots. Again, for a ship of that size, that's significant. This was not the only benefit for the Dolphin, however. There was also Saud Kruger's decision in late November 3304 to remove the ship's restriction on some internal module spaces that were previously designated cabin only. With these 2 important changes in recent months, not only the Dolphin but all 3 Saud Kruger ships have become extremely versatile in terms of exploration. Geared with an SRV hangar and a cargo full of research limpets, for example, an unengineered Dolphin with a Guardian FSD booster can still reach a jump range of close to 40 light years, a range that long has been the exclusive domain of Asps, Anacondas, and Diamondback explorers. Additionally, the Dolphin can do this without sacrificing too much of its higher than average interior comfort standards, which is very useful on extended survey trips. Why not have a drink at the bar while the detailed surface scanner does its thing? If the Dolphin is already good at stylish exploration, the Orca and Beluga push the bar even higher. The Orca has already been a popular exploration ship for some time now. It is cherished because of its high jump range and the number of modular configurations possible in a very stylish hull. The ship is also viewed as being adequately nimble in supercruise for its size. For this reason, the Orca is a premier choice for planet hoppers, explorers keen on visiting planetary bodies in newly discovered star systems in hopes of making discoveries on the surface while enjoying a fresh deli menu, along with genuine orange juice. It should be noted, though, that the Orca's broad landing profile and fragile hull, coupled with weak thrusters, can make planetary landings somewhat hazardous for inexperienced pilots. As easy as it is to spend the money on an Orca, it's also easy to lose it. Kai Kalimatis.
Landing their broad frames can sometimes be more difficult than landing vessels with smaller footprints.
Like the Dolphin, the Orca can be flown and scooped on FSD+1, and can have an unengineered jump range as high as some 40 light-years with all the necessities of deep space exploration, like an SRV hangar, an auto field maintenance unit, and a stockpile of research limpets, along with the appropriate controller. Overall, the Orca is roomy enough for any modular configuration one can think of when having a mixture of exploration and Lavian brandy in mind. If some engineering genius had managed to squeeze the Keelback's fighter bay into the Orca might well have been one of the most popular exploration ships of all time. The main downside of the Orca is the price tag. For all its style and the Class 5 or 6 modular compartments, outfitting the ship with A or B grade quality equipment will quickly stick an explorer with a bill of 100 million credits. For the very rich, this won't be a deterrent. However, for the novices and casual deep space jockeys, it may well be the deal breaker and lead them to more inexpensive, but equally effective, exploration ships like the Asp or the Diamondback Explorer. This once more illustrates that flying a Saud Kruger in exploration territory is mostly a statement of style, all the more so if one manages to get hold of a golden livery. Speaking of gold, the Orca's big brother, the Beluga liner, plays in the Golden League, both in style and in price. Again, for the very rich, it may not be an issue to fly an exploration cruiser worth some 200 million credits, but the vast majority of explorers will never do so. In fact, though the ship's use as an exploration vessel is increasing, it is telling that they still only made up slightly more than 2% of the distant world's 2 fleet. An unengineered Beluga with a Class 5 Guardian FSD booster can reach a jump range close to 38 light-years, even with an SRV hangar and the ship's modular jewel, a fully equipped fighter bay. On the downside, where the Dolphin and the Orca can be flown on FSD +1, the Beluga is down to FSD -1. Its maximum fuel scoop size is one smaller than the FSD. Since the ship also suffers from heat issues due to its overall bigger module classes, the longer scooping times and prolonged exposures in the star's corona can be seen as a disadvantage. On the other hand, with the aforementioned abolishment of the passenger module limitations, the Beluga boasts the ultimate modular flexibility and is rivaled only by the Anaconda and, possibly, the Imperial Cutter, although a comprehensive comparison with those two ships would warrant another article. Suffice to say that a combination exploration and mining Beluga is not unheard of, and speaks of the versatility the ship brings into the field while still offering zero-G cricket to its crew. Its handling is competitive too, Kai Kalimatinus comments.
Although the Beluga is not the most agile ship of the Saud Kruger line, for its size it is nonetheless impressive and not dissimilar to the Federal Corvette, flying marginally better than the Anaconda.
However, in this correspondent's view, the greatest advantage of the Beluga is its large telepresence projector in combination with its fighter bay capacity, making deep sky exploration trips even more enjoyable with a number of like-minded survey specialists. The feeling of group accomplishment has done much to counter Deep Space's Association Syndrome, or Space Madness, over the last years. If nothing else, this ongoing debate shows that the exploration business is not static, and that with only a few cleverly made decisions, commanders can adjust or even redefine what was formerly thought as orthodoxy.